Jim, you were the captain in 1999-2000. Just paint a picture for me, if you would, of what the club and the clubhouse were like then.
Okay, sounds a long time ago. One of the reasons when you're approached to be captain, they always tell you there are no issues, but of course you find out there are some issues. But the temptation for me to become captain, of course, was I would get my name on a board, because I didn't really think there was much chance of getting it on any of the other boards. History has proved me right. The centenary book hasn't helped my cause, because my group take the rip out of me that my name's in it 5 times there for golfing achievements, but my name is always followed by and Mrs. C. Joyce.
So she kept you up there.
She kept me up there, according to my group. As a group, we had been thinking it was about time we were bringing the administration of the club into the clubhouse. We didn't have anywhere to put it. That was the problem. So we had to set about how do we redesign the club so that it becomes functional. And the purpose was to try and take the club through to last till the centenary. So it's interesting that we're now just past the centenary.
So you managed that, and the product of that major change was this much bigger lounge that we now have, which means that you can now have functions, and I believe that the first ever wedding took place in East Red after that.
Well, no, it didn't actually. The wedding actually took place in my year, which was before the construction of the club. So it was in the old clubhouse, which makes it all the more remarkable, because it was if you remember, it was a very long, narrow room there, which led to one of the other issues which I had when I was coming up to be captain. All the years that my son played here, if we came in the course after I came home from work, we came up for a few holes. I would go to have a beer, he would go to the cook. I would have to take him to the other end of the clubhouse, sit him in the junior room, because he wasn't allowed into the lounge.
It was far from welcoming.
Far from welcoming. So on day one of my captaincy, I got partitions put up in the narrow clubhouse to separate the juniors from the bar, because that was the issue about licensing law. So we solved that one, got the juniors in, because as any young boys would do, they tended to misbehave a wee bit when they were out of sight, away at the other end of the clubhouse. So that was nice to achieve that.
And in these days, you had a huge waiting list.
We had a waiting list that went out, believe it or not, to 10 years. We had 2 members particularly who used to chase me around the course every time I came up to see when they were going to get upgraded from temporary limited to full. They had to wait 6 years. So at that time we had to close the waiting list because it was becoming an embarrassment. And in fact we took to sending letters out asking for £25 to make sure that the waiting list was genuine.
So when you consider everything you've seen in terms of changes at East End, what have been the most significant ones for you?
I think the most significant change undoubtedly is the clubhouse itself, because we actually were hoping that we could have used the upstairs part of the clubhouse, because it's, if we had got a veranda out there or something, it would have been ideal, but cost-wise it was prohibitive, because to get upstairs for general use, we would have had to reconstruct the entrance, put in a proper staircase, because we wouldn't have met modern day standards of building to get people safely up the stairs and safely out the building if necessary. So it was a pity, because we would have liked to have done that. So several plans were formulated. We finished up with what we have now. We put the drawings out for months before the special meeting we had at Whiteglaze Rugby Club. Let the members see what we were planning to do. First thing was that to make space for the administration, we had to move the ladies out of the locker room, which is where the office now is, at the front door, and move them to a space at the back of the building. And to do that, we had to enlarge the gents' locker room, build a new ladies' locker room, and the hexagon at the end to accommodate the visitors. So we achieved quite a lot in that build, and of course the lounge, which is huge compared to what it was. And I sit there now and think it's great to see the likes of people coming after shotguns, sitting having their meal. We would never have been able to accommodate these things. If you think about all the sort of outside receptions we have now, funerals. We do all sorts of things in there now that help the club, and we would not have been able to do that.
So when would you have played the course for the first time?
Oh, well, actually, I played the course before I joined it. I was living in Edinburgh at the time, and the company I worked for had a national knockout golf competition for to mark their centenary year, which was 1983, and I played it. The final was played over here, which I won. So when I moved to Glasgow, I thought, well, this is the place, and that's how I came here.
And how's the course changed in these, what, 40 years?
Well, yeah, I think the course has changed mainly in the last few years. The course changes now, I think, are fantastic, and I'm really, really impressed with this winter in particular. The work that Barry and his team did this winter, I think, was outstanding. We play, our group play right through the winter. We're known as the East Rhine Old Boys now. It's a pity, but and we play the course, and to see them putting in the work right through the winter was, I think, phenomenal.
Any thoughts for the future of the club, as things you'd like to see happen, or where the club can go from here?
Well, I suppose the thing about the clubhouse is that you've always got to keep on top of the general maintenance of the clubhouse, but there has to come a point when we have to look at what we do with the clubhouse, and is it needing replaced at some point? And I believe it will do. We aimed to keep it going when we did the extension to Centenary. We've achieved that, and now it's up to the next generation to take it forward.
Jim, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.